Welcome. My name is Benita Sims, and I work here at Historic Travelers Rest. I am one of the historic interpreters. I'm a former teacher, and today I'm going to teach you something about gift cones, and we are going to end by making one. Now you may be thinking, okay, what is a gift cone and where did it come from? And as a teacher, I like to ask who, what, when, where. And I will give you some background on those cones. The cones originally came from Germany, and those German cones were actually called school cones. The teacher would make these cones before the first day of school, and on the first day of school would hang them outside the classroom on a tree for the children to pick up on their way into school. Now this may have been some bit of a reward for the people who were on time, because if you came late to school, you had to climb very far up in the tree sometimes to get your cone. Now the tradition has changed a bit, and parents and grandparents are the ones that give the cones to the children on the first day of school. Also, the sweets that would have been in the cones, candy, sweet things, that would have been in the cones in the early days have given way to more practical things like crayons and pencils and markers. Now you may be asking, okay, how did a school cone get on a Victorian Christmas tree? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. There was a lady named Victoria, and she became the Queen of England, Great Britain, in 1837. She was only 18 years old. And as a very young woman, she really liked a lot of fashion things. So she very quickly became a fashion icon, if you will. She would have had lots of followers today and would have been considered the ultimate influencer. So women all around the world are watching what Victoria's doing. Victoria married a gentleman named Albert. Now Albert was from, guess where? Germany. And in order to make her husband feel more at home, Victoria decided to bring in some of the German traditions and kind of blend them in with the English traditions that she had in Great Britain. Now, one of the things she chose to bring in was a Christmas tree. Up until then, people in Germany had Christmas trees, but not people in England. And because she was such a great influencer, people all over the world, in the US particularly, were following her as well and decided that, yes, they would bring in Christmas trees too. So by about 1850, you're seeing a number of people celebrating Christmas with a tree in their home. But she also found another tradition. She found the school cone tradition. But she didn't really like the idea of school cones at the first day of school, but she liked the idea of giving something in a cone. And she was thinking about the fact that those cones were hung on a tree outside the schoolroom. Oh, you know what? Let's hang it on the Christmas tree. So the Victorians, that is the people during her time period, liked to make beautiful gift cones. Now they did it out of heavier paper, sometimes even scraps of wallpaper. So they were very beautiful, and they would put small gifts in them. And that's what we're going to make today. In order to make our gift cone, we'll need several items. One of them is a piece of paper. What I'm using is cardstock. And what you want to do with this piece of paper is make sure that it's pretty side down. So I'm going to flip mine right now, because whatever side is up is going to become the inside of your cone. So you want to have your pretty side out. You'll need several pieces of tape. I have 3 pieces of tape that I have prepared over here. They're ready for me. You'll need a hole punch, and you will also need some pretty ribbon. And I am going to use my right hand, because I'm right-handed, to fold it. And I am going to hold with my left hand. Here's my left hand. And it's my index finger or pointer finger that I'm going to use. And I come about 1/3 of the way. Envision this being split into 3 pieces. So I'm about 1/3 of the way. Then I'm going to take my right hand and fold it and begin to roll it under. And now you see why I want my finger there, because that's where the point goes. And once it's folded, then I can take my tape. I'm going to start down at the point, the bottom. That wasn't perfect, but it's in the right place, so we'll be all right. Then I'm going to come up a little bit on the fold and place another piece of tape. You probably could manage to do this with 1 piece, but I worry about it coming undone. So I like 3. Now the next thing you're going to do is take the hole punch, and you're going to put a hole on one side. Now I'm very careful to try to line up the point of my cone because I think it's pretty. And I want to make sure that it shows when I hang it on the tree. So when I take my hole punch and begin to punch holes, make sure that your holes are a little further down. Okay, it's at least 1/2 inch down to 3/4 of an inch. See? And the way I did it is just by using the hole punch itself. Let's see, is that about halfway? Yeah, close enough. Now once you have your holes, you're going to pick out a ribbon. And let's see, that's a pretty piece of ribbon. Let's try that. I'm going to insert it on that side. And then I'm going to, now if you want to get fancy, you can put a bow there, but I just as soon tie it in a little knot. And turn it over on the other side. Now do pay attention to the fact that these holes are a little bit further down than the very edge, because you don't want to have it pull through. Number one, you don't want to put anything that heavy in it, but if it's close to the edge, it might pull through. Once you get your gift cone made, make sure and put it on the tree. Put something fun in it, perhaps for your little brother or sister, maybe even something for your parents. Just something kind of fun and sweet. Thank you very much.